Hello and welcome to our Year with the Ears, our daily vlog where we relive our year living in the Walt Disney World resorts in 2019. Today is day 292.
It's moving day again today, and we are sadly going to be leaving the camper that we've stayed in the last few days. It has been so much fun staying in this camper, and honestly, neither of us really thought it was going to be this much fun. We thought it'd be fun, like a different experience.
Yeah, a good time.
But we were like, yeah, I'm not sure if we're ever going to want to do that again. But after doing it, I would totally stay in a camper again. It was a really cool experience. We called Bell Services, and they will transfer luggage if you're staying at one of the campsites. So I told them to make sure they bring the van, not a golf cart, because we have a lot of luggage. They brought the van over and we helped them get everything loaded in there. And then the people who own the RV came and hitched it up to their truck. They offered to give us a ride up to the front of the resort, which we were very grateful for because it was still raining. Not as hard as last night, but it was definitely drizzling and pretty wet out there. So they gave us a ride up to the front, and when we got there, instead of calling an Uber, we actually had a friend who offered to come pick us up. We were going to spend some time with them today. So they came, picked us up at the front of Fort Wilderness, and then took us out to run a few errands, went to the P.O. box and got some of our mail, which I started at this point kind of knowing what we were going to have when we went to the P.O. box, because for every one of these stays, we had magic vans coming, which meant these little white boxes that are all basically the same size because there's usually only two of them in there. And the guys at the P.O. box knew that's what we were getting, and they'd bring out just stacks and stacks of these white boxes. This time they had several there because we haven't been in a while, so we got that as well as our mail, and then eventually made our way over to Animal Kingdom Lodge, where we're checking in to a Savannah View room with club level access, which is always super exciting to have all that free food.
We made it in time for lunch, so we enjoyed some of the lunchtime snacks, and they gave us a gift because everyone who stays club level does get a little gift. It's chocolate granola from the ganachery, and it's a really nice light snack, a really great thing you can take to the park with you and kind of munch on during the day. So we didn't eat it right now because we have all the food right now, but we are going to save this for another day. Our room was not ready when we got there, which is fine because we are early, so we waited up there, enjoyed our snacks, did some work, and a couple hours later we did get the text that our room was ready. We headed down to our room. It is on a different floor, but we have an amazing Savannah view. There were so many animals out. We were so excited. There were actually more animals right now than we really got to see with the 3-bedroom Grand Villa, which has 3 different balconies we could see animals on.
But we were only there for one night, so that's probably why we didn't see very much. Of course, we did go around the room and take pictures of all the little details in the room. It is one of those newly remodeled rooms, and we did a tour for Facebook and for YouTube. We do have 2 queen beds in this room, and they are raised up off the ground. So you do have storage underneath for your luggage. You can store those underneath the bed there. And then the beds have, as you can see, the headboards up above them. These are the same headboards they had previously before the remodel. They did recycle them by picking them up higher off the ground and putting that kind of padding back there behind where the pillows are so you don't hit your head on the wooden part anymore. And they added some cool uplighting behind the headboard, so it looks pretty awesome. And if you'd like to see that entire room tour, it is linked down in the description below and up there in the corner. And when we went to upload this to YouTube today, we realized something very exciting. A few days ago, we did hit 1,000 subscribers, which was a huge milestone. But on YouTube, you can't actually monetize your video and get paid for the ads that YouTube is showing unless you have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in the last 365 days. Well, apparently, sometime in the last 24 hours, we hit that 4,000 watch hour mark, so we can now officially apply to be monetized on YouTube and start actually making some money on YouTube for the views that we're getting.
Which, of course, is super exciting because the ads are showing one way or another, just YouTube's making all the money right now. So it was really exciting to find out, especially because we're here at Animal Kingdom Lodge, we're already having a great day, we're club level, and this just added to it. So it was a really good day so far. We did go back out in the balcony, and there were more animals that came through because they do rotate constantly all throughout the day, but we didn't want to miss afternoon tea. So we headed back up to the club level lounge, and apparently afternoon tea here really just means let's pump you full of sugar, because they had Rice Krispie treats, they had brownies, they had scones, and then a little salad that we weren't sure we were gonna like, so we just didn't try it. dinner is in an hour, so we'll just wait until then.
Although I did have several of the brownies because these things are so amazing. I could literally eat an entire plate of these brownies, but I did not at this point because we, like she said, have dinner coming up and I need to save a little room for that.
We did stay up here and wait for dinner because it is a decent walk back to our room, just going down the elevator, walking down the hall, going down the hall. It's a long way and we didn't want to keep doing that over and over. So we did bring our laptops, just kind of sat there and worked a little bit until it was time for dinner. They have a really wide variety of dinner items here. One of my favorites is actually the apple slices because you can get caramel or peanut butter. I feel like the peanut butter is healthier, but I mean, let's be honest, we're all going for the caramel. They also had lots of different vegetables. They had fruit. They had chicken nuggets for the kids. Again, we're gonna take them too, but they're supposed to be for the children. They had meats and cheeses just like they do at every club level. And they had a ton of different types of hummus. Normally you get one option if they have it in club level, but here at Animal Kingdom Lodge, they have a ton of different ones we got to try.
They also had a chef up there preparing a few dishes. One of them was a chickpea and lentil falafel. Neither of us were a big fan of that. It just wasn't something we really wanted, but they also made an African stew with mashed potatoes on top. That was delicious, and we had several of those little bitty cups. And of course, they had peanut butter and jelly here for the kids and adults if they wanted it. They did do Uncrustables, and they also quartered them just like Grand Floridian, so I guess they're fancy, but maybe I think Animal Kingdom Lodge might be a little fancier because they also sprinkled dried banana chips on top. So maybe they're more fancy than the Grand Floridian.
Is that even possible? Like, can someone be more fancy than the Grand Floridian?
Probably not.
I think they're challenging them. After dinner, we did head back to the room because we do have that savannah view. We've seen so many animals already. We wanted to see if we could see more. When we got back to the room, we had the most amazing sunset. It was beautiful outside. There were lots of animals out there. Some of them were actually kind of close to our room, and we just got to watch this gorgeous sunset and stayed out there until it was time for dessert, and then we went back up to the club level lounge. When we got up to the lounge, I got so excited. There's a TV in every single club level lounge for the kids to watch. Honestly, the adults watch it too. But when we got up there, they had the Brave Little Toaster on, and we have not seen this movie being played in any lounge, in any community hall, nowhere. But my family and I would watch this over and over when I was a kid. We loved the Brave Little Toaster. So I had to go tell a cast member how grateful I was they had it on because I want to watch it. I'm so excited. She goes, really? I'm so happy. No one ever wants me to put this movie in, but I think it's great. And I was like, I'm so glad you did it today because I get to enjoy it and I appreciate it.
And while she was enjoying the movie, I was busy loading up a plate with desserts because that's what I came for. I like the Brave Little Toaster too, but I really am focused on the desserts. They had some brownies again. This time they had caramel frosting on them. They were butterscotch chip brownies. They were also very good. They had several different kinds of cookies out there in bowls, and they had these little cake cones that were kind of like a custard in a cone. Very interesting. Not my favorite thing because it's just a really tiny bite. It's like one bite and it's gone. So I wasn't crazy about that, but they did taste good. And they had some Rice Krispie treats like they had earlier during tea time, as well as the apples with caramel.
And I did eventually go get some desserts, but we were more than happy to wait up here because one thing we learned from the last time we were here in the club level lounge is that Animal Kingdom Lodge is really unique in that they don't put out all of their desserts right away. They have some where they only make a few of them. They're very limited. So the cast members will wait 30 minutes to an hour before dessert is done, and they'll bring out new desserts. We learned this last time when they had those chocolate covered strawberries that I love so much. I was so excited about. So we stayed up here watching Brave Little Toaster, enjoying desserts, and waiting for the next round of desserts to show up. They eventually did bring out some new desserts, and the first one they brought was a chocolate almond cake. I loved this. It was the perfect amount of chocolate with the raspberry on top. I don't know how many of these I ate. It is becoming a problem.
But they were also super rich, so I couldn't have it without having some milk or some coffee from the Nespresso machine. They did also bring out some lemon berry tarts as well. Those were nice, but I actually really enjoyed the chocolate. I'm not as crazy about chocolate as Alyssa is, but that was definitely the better of the two options. When we finished up with our desserts, we walked all the way back down to our room, and there's not much light out on the balcony because there are animals out there. They try to keep things dark here at Animal Kingdom Lodge, but you can still kind of see if there's animals out there, and we saw giraffes up walking around. So we tried to take a picture, and that didn't work out very well because it's nighttime and they're out walking around, but it was cool to sit out there. It was really peaceful and quiet, and you could kind of watch the animals in the dark as they're walking around down there on the savannah. After a few minutes out on the balcony, we headed back into the room, and that was the end of our day today. So we'll see you tomorrow
for our Year with the Ears.